What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Chin here again today from the Nothing But Facts podcast. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you guys watched my video yesterday talking about my week 6 losers. Today we're going to talk about teams trending in the right direction, and also our week 6 winners, teams heading into week 7 with a lot of things on the line, essentially. So let's get right into it. I hope, like I said, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. We're going to start off with the game on Friday night that's going under the radar. This is South Florida going on the road against North Texas. Now, North Texas has had an outstanding season. They have been, I believe, the most unkept secret in college football right now. They're 5-0, and their quarterback is a problem. What he has been able to do, Drew Mestemaker, is just unreal, right? This kid, no, he has not turned the ball over. Top 50 in the country in QBR. If they're able to beat South Florida, the way this North Texas schedule sets up for them, I mean, this team can easily, outside of the Navy game, this team could go undefeated. So I think if North Texas can find a way to get it done against South Florida, that passing attack, what Alex Golish's offense is, what Andrew Nimrod on the outside has been able to do for their wide receiver room, that's a really quality win. This is a South Florida team that beat Florida, right? And Florida just beat Texas, and they have another test this week against A&M. We'll get to that later on this week. But I think North Texas is a really interesting team. And I think Drew Mestemaker is a part of why they're successful. Has not turned the ball over, 1,247 yards, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. If you did not watch him come onto the scene last year, go back and watch their bowl game against Texas State. He never, I think it was something like he didn't start since he was a JV, something like that, or freshman year, whatever the case may be. Then he went out and threw 400 yards in that bowl game against Texas State. That was his coming out party. And he won the starting quarterback battle this offseason, and he's balled like it. Hasn't turned the ball over. Like, that is impressive. Those are things you want to see from guys going into week 7. So I think North Texas is trending in the right direction. And the same thing goes as well for South Florida, right? This is a one-loss team. Their one loss is against Miami. Miami's ranked number 2 in the country, right? And, I mean, South Florida, I don't know how they're ranked number 24, but that's a conversation for another day. But equally as well, if South Florida wins this game, I mean, you're looking at a 5-1 South Florida team that, I mean, they can easily also get into this playoff. They have 2 tests, right? On the road against Memphis, on the road against Navy. Playing at the road against Navy is never easy. This is a really interesting South Florida team. These are 2 teams, whichever way this game goes, if they win this game, both of these teams, I believe, are going to be trending in the right direction. So I'm interested. This is going to be a great battle on Friday night. I'm going to be tuned in. I remember on Twitter even seeing, on X, however you want to say it, the president of North Texas told students, hey, we're going to end classes at noon on Friday because we need everyone to show out. That's how important this game is for North Texas. So I'm going to be tuned in. I think a lot of the country is going to be tuned in. I mean, a lot of the country, if you love college football, you love the game, you'll be tuned into this game as well. So we'll see what happens. But I think these are 2 teams definitely trending in the right direction. Winners, and we'll see what happens. My annual water break. I just got this water from my car, so it's a little bit warm. So, hey, I just need some to just help me talk. My throat gets dry. We have 2 teams that I think if they win either way this week, they're also going to be trending in the right direction. That's Alabama going on the road against Mizzou. We're going to pick this game later on tomorrow. I think this is an interesting game for both teams. Missouri has not played anyone outside of Kansas that you think is respectable, right? South Carolina was their conference win. South Carolina is having a down year, I would say. But you beat Central Arkansas. You beat Kansas. You beat Louisiana 52-10. Your conference win against South Carolina, and then you blew the doors off of UMass 42-6. Now, I would say those are inferior opponents. I would say 3 of those 6 games, 3 of those 5 games have been inferior opponents. Kansas has been mid-level. South Carolina, same thing, mid-level too. Alabama is a superior opponent. Not superior to you, Missouri, but superior to this competition of teams that they've played so far. So I have a lot of questions around Mizzou, but for what they've done so far going into this week 7, they're trending in the right direction. Because while I know there is a tough way, there's a heavy net of teams they have to play moving forward. This game, if they beat Alabama, it's not about, okay, it's not about, okay, it's a positive. Essentially, it's a positive for them saying, hey, we can afford a loss or 2. You know what I mean? Like, we can afford a loss to A&M potentially, or on the road against Oklahoma. You get A&M at home, and you go on the road against Auburn and Vanderbilt. So, like, what I'm saying here essentially is, if you're Mizzou, you can find yourself easily in this playoff as a 2-loss team. But you would like to beat Bama so you can afford yourself losses further down the line. But there's also the contrary to that. The other side is Alabama, and you can see FPI predictor. They have Alabama as the heavy favorite, and the line is pretty, what it is. It's -5.5. But Alabama, for what it is worth, I would say also for them, their schedule sets up pretty interesting for them. They get Tennessee at home. They get LSU at home. They get Oklahoma at home. And then you're on the road against South Carolina and Auburn. So I think this team is heading in the right direction. The Florida State loss, the more we look at it, the more we analyze how that Florida State loss has, I would say, helped this football team. This Florida State loss has put this team in a different mood. They're executing better. We've seen penalties, something that has been an issue of Kalen DeBoer. We've seen it now been something that they're having less penalties than their opponents. So those are things you want to see. Those are things that I believe the last 2 games for Alabama, those are what you want to see. Solid wins. And take another water break. And for the people that, I've heard a lot of things about Alabama. I've heard a lot of things about Kalen DeBoer and just about who he is and his inability to maybe blow teams out. I would say you have to look at Kalen DeBoer's tenure at Washington. All right. I don't think there was a game where they blew a team out. I don't think there was a score where they, put a team in the dirt, whatever the case may be, right? He went 11-2 his first year at Washington. And they don't show the scores here, schedules and results. Perfect. Like, there's not really a blowout win here, you see. Like, Kalen DeBoer, he doesn't, like, that's not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is a winner, but his style is not, we're going to put up 95 or it's going to be a light show. These games have been close. Even the losses have been close when he was at Washington, his first year at Washington. 7-point win, 10-point win, 3-point win, 3-point win. I mean, Washington State, Colorado outliers, Texas in the Alamo Bowl, 7-point win. Let's look at the next year when they had that generational one. 7-point win, 3-point win, 8-point win, 9-point win, 10, 8, 2, 3, 3, 6. Like, we the expectation for Kalen DeBoer to just blow out teams in SEC is unreasonable. He that's not what he did at Washington. He didn't blow teams out at Washington. All right. I mean, he blew out the teams you needed to blow out, right? Michigan State was terrible this year. Tulsa, Boise, whatever, right? But these games were close. So for all the smoke he's getting, talking about, he Credit where it's due. He was a first-year head coach in the SEC, won 9 games. He beat his rival. He beat his rivals. He beat Auburn. He beat LSU. He didn't beat Tennessee. That's okay. But there is a level of success he had, and I still think he's still trying to carve his team out. Saturday's a test. If they win, they'll be going in the right direction. So we'll see what happens. Another team I have definitely trending in the right direction, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They have been, I think, they've been playing really good football, solid football, 28-7 win last week against Boise State, sort of what you want to see from Notre Dame. And they have an interesting test against North Carolina State. And I hope people are not overlooking this because North Carolina State, they've had also an interesting season, right? If you look at their schedule, you look at their wins, you look at their losses, it's been an interesting team, right? They beat Virginia, but Virginia is ranked. They beat Wake Forest. They lost to Duke by 12, and they lost to Virginia Tech by 2 points. So, like, Notre Dame 100% should take this game seriously. Although I believe they have awoken, right? They those 2 early losses against Miami, against Notre Dame. I think this team from a 10,000-foot perspective, I think Marcus Freeman and his guys are really confident. I think their confidence is high. I think CJ Carr is playing really good football, right? He's really balling. And I love it. I love the confidence. I love the way this defense is flying around. I love the plays they're making. Jeremiah Love seems to me like he's finally getting his groove. Jadarian Price in the backfield. We broke those guys down early on, this year, a couple of weeks ago when the season started. So we'll see. I think this is a really great opportunity for Notre Dame to get another quality win against a winning team in North Carolina State. But you have to 100% be careful because CJ Bailey is also balling. All right. He's top 20 in the country in QBR, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, having himself a season. And Hollywood Smothers on the ground is a problem. Like, this guy runs the ball with attitude, with purpose, with conviction, 7 yards per carry, just at 700 yards. So, like, this is going to be a good test for Notre Dame. If they win this game, Notre Dame's the hottest team in America, one of the hottest teams in America. Like, this is a quality opponent. I think if Notre Dame wins, I think they're trending in the right direction. I think they've already been trending in the right direction, and they're one of my winners going into week 7. And last but not least, I have Texas Tech. Texas Tech, what Joey McGuire has done in Lubbock has been unbelievable. What he's been able to do in the transfer portal, getting guys like David Bailey, who is top 10 in the country in pressures. They've rebuilt their defensive line. Like, they're good enough to play against those teams in the top 10. Like, you don't think Texas Tech is a fluke just because they're in the Big 12. This is a solid team. They have blown out basically every team they've played. And they've literally blown out every team they've played. Oregon State, they cruised against Utah, even with Barron Morton, their starting quarterback, being hurt. They cruised, and they just crushed Houston. I mean, they just smoked them. They smoked Houston. So again, this is a Kansas team. Jalen Daniels, one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12, athletic quarterback. I think out of this list of quarterbacks outside of Devon Dampier, this is probably the best quarterback they're going to be playing over the next 2 weeks because they get Sam Leavitt after this. But Kansas should be an interesting game. It's going to be primetime on Fox. I'll be tuned into this game. I'll be watching in. But I think Texas Tech is heading in the right direction. David Bailey is a problem. And this guy right here, Jacob Rodriguez, is also a problem. Wichita Falls, Texas. He's the best linebacker, I think, right now in college football. I think you can put some guys in there. No SEC bias. I think you could put Justin Jefferson of Alabama in there. But I think Jacob Rodriguez is going to be he could easily be the Buckus Award winner. He could be. I think this guy is the best linebacker in college football. 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 15 solo tackles, sideline to sideline, coach to player tag in his helmet. Man, Texas Tech is just unreal. This is a really good football team, a solid football team. And like I said, Joey McGuire gets a lot of credit for what he's done, because I remember all the talk in the offseason about him in the portal. Oh, he was dipping and dabbling in the portal. Oh, he shouldn't have did all these things, blah, 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 blah. But this guy has just what he's been able to do. He's been able to carve guys out, been able to fit what they want to do in Lubbock. So I like I said, I really like Texas Tech, right? They're top 5 in scoring defense and top 5 in scoring offense. Like, this is a really good football team, y'all. Like, this is like, we don't have to lie here. This is a really solid Texas Tech football team. They're built inside out. They have a really disruptive defensive line, and they have a offensive line that could just move people. And you see the numbers, what they're doing. I mean, scoring defense, top 5 in the country. Scoring offense, top 5 in the country, top 2. So this Texas Tech team is trending in the right direction. And like I said, they have a test on Saturday against Kansas. If they do what they've been doing to other teams to Kansas, this is a playoff team. Like, I need you guys to understand what I'm saying. If they do what they've been doing, if Texas Tech just mauls Kansas like how they've done Houston and Utah and Oregon State and Kent State, this is a playoff team. Like, I need you guys to understand this is a playoff team. And they have a backup quarterback, God forbid, if Barrymore gets hurt, who has proven can win you football games in hostile environments. So we'll see what happens. Texas Tech, my winner going into week 7. We'll see. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing. Love you guys. God bless. Deuces.